I guess you're coming on Jack. We're still eastbound Vespucci on the bridge.
Two PD characters? Yeah, some people
Hello,
are too.
Joseph.
Howdy, miss. It's just Joe.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
hello,
just Joe. Howdy, Sheamus. How we doing?
Howdy. I'm chilling. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Oh, I wanted to have a chat from like undersheriff to VP.
Okay.
Oh, I've seen that there's a couple of situations, and Flop, bless his soul, came and spoke to me about one situation, and I'll be honest, the two of us started getting more and more heated until I realized he was talking about a completely different fucking scenario that I was talking about, and we cleared up their confusion. But I wanted to speak about the... is it fair to say that there was a rising conflict between hounds and members of the law enforcement?
Yeah, over the last couple of weeks, there seems to be a definite rise in tension. I think it's mostly LSPD, but there's a bit of BCSO in there as well. It's kind of like, it gets muddled up when it comes to chases, right? And you can't really confirm who's in what car, so yeah, it's kind of just in general.
Kind of depends on who started the situation, they're setting the pace, so on and so forth.
Yes.
All right, well, what is it that you can tell me about? I understand that, like, I have restrictions on what things I can discuss legally. You have restrictions on what you can discuss. It's part of the club. But what tensions have you seen rising, and what can we do to maybe reduce some of those?
The first thing that I think ticked us over the edge was, I think it was maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and it was like the first incident, and from there it's kind of like spiraled down, like a knock-on effect. Was allegedly a Polito robbery. Well, allegedly for me, because I got away, but other people didn't. But essentially, there was a Polito robbery, standard, Air 1, blah, blah, blah. A pretty long chase, like an hour and a half. Ended up shaking most people, and then Air 1 was on one car with 2 people in it. And then the passenger hopped out with a grapple gun and started grappling away. And instead of Air 1 staying on the grapple gun, which you would think would be, well, I don't know how the processes work, right? But in my head, the common sense thing would be ground units stay on the car, Air 1 follows the grapple gun. Ventura went to MRPD and pulled out Air 2, so Air 1 stayed on the car, and then Air 2 just sat on the guy with the grapple gun. So that was the first one. That ended up in, I think, one person holding out in the scrapyard and getting arrested after shotgunning like 5 cops. I allegedly knuckle dusted Alan Key and ran away and hid on foot and got away. But yeah, that was the first one that spiraled there. And then since then, it's just been like little incidents, and it feels like no matter what weight of like crime we allegedly do, no matter what kind of like vibe we bring, there's a subsection of people and officers who just like see us and ramp it up like to maximum aggression almost instantly over like the smallest of stuff. I think there was an incident maybe a couple of days after that where something happened with DJ and some taxi drivers, and they tried to take him hostage, and he defended himself and shot back at them. So then cops pulled up and started chasing him and just left the taxi drivers. And I think a car came in and accidentally hit into one of the cop cars at like 40 or 50. And apparently this was the one that I think Flop spoke to you about, because I wasn't around for it. And then it was like the felony stop on Sophie Jewell afterwards that happened at Senior Buns. I think that was like the one just before that.
Yeah, he was complaining about the first felony stop, where I was involved in the second felony stop, which was completely unrelated to the whole chase that you guys had.
Yeah. So the first chase, I don't think it was even a felony stop. I think somebody just came up to pick up DJ after the shit happened with the taxi people. I think it was Miller and Voss were chasing them, and one of the cars came in and accidentally bumped Miller, and Miller was like, okay, let's get high-speed pits. They're pitting us at high speeds already. And everybody was like, what? We hit them at like 40 by accident. Yeah, apparently, like, I think a lot of people, I haven't experienced it too much, because like, I don't mean to sound cocky, but like cop cars don't get very close to my car when I'm getting chased. So I experienced it a little bit less, but a lot of people are saying like the pits that have been happening, they've been just getting dive bombed into every corner, used as braking zones. And I understand like a good bit of back and forth and a bit of ramming. Like, you know me, when I'm in my cars, I'm all for it. But I think some people are definitely feeling a lot higher aggression than usual, and sometimes it's warranted. I will say that. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm more than happy to take accountability on some chases when shit gets wicked and we get aggressive and you guys get aggressive back. That's fine. I like that. That's what I expect. But I think people don't like the fact that there's no consistency with when the aggression comes in. So it could be like a fucking cash exchange robbery and it would be one swap and then Jack Boss comes out of nowhere and slams into the car at 150. Yeah, there was a chase maybe like 2-3 days ago from an S boost, and the aggression was crazy. Like there was V stars just dive bombing the car into every corner because they couldn't keep up with it. There was one V star who put 3 cars out by just excessively ramming the car into walls the second it was anywhere near a wall. I think Jack is the main. There's a couple of people, but Jack is the main culprit when it comes to some people. I know Sophie and Flop have had a lot of issues with him recently. But yeah, it's just that like increased aggression, almost overly aggressive for some things, and it's the lack of consistency. Like we could do a Polito and get a really aggressive chase, which is fine because it's a big robbery. We could do like an A boost with a hack or with a tracker or a cash exchange, and we could get just as aggressive chase, if not more aggressive. And it's kind of like, well, how do we judge on how we like bring ourselves forward and how we kind of like treat the crime when we can't even
170K
begin to try and apprehend what we're going to expect when it comes to a chase. Like I think it's, yeah, it really is, as you say, like who is on the chase and who is leading it and who takes control. Because like sometimes if someone with their head on their shoulders, like who can kind of see our level of aggression and match it, it works, right? But then there's other people who just see us, and I feel like, I hate to have to say this, but I feel like they see us, and they're just like, oh, it's the Hound, let's go fucking hard, fuck them.
God, I'm gonna say the words. A general lack of reading the room.
Yeah, I don't like having to say that word, Joe, to be honest with you. But I know you understand stuff and you've got a good head on your shoulders, but there is a lot of people who just, I don't know what it is, but they just simply cannot read the room in a lot of these chases, and they just lack the ability. I don't know what it is, whether they don't care or they just simply can't just like, yeah, like read the room and understand what's going on and kind of the situation, and they just go all out, and there's no way that they're gonna let us get away. They will do anything, whether it's a dive bomb pit, whether it's just smashing the car into anything and everything. Like I was trying to get out of a car yesterday and we stopped, and we were stopped for 2 seconds, and an interceptor, slick top penumbra, in the middle of Legion Square just came up full speed and rammed that car in the back as I was getting out, and I nearly like got ran over by 2 cars because of it.
Do you know who did that?
I'm not too stressed. I don't. This is the issue, right? These big chases, so many cars are involved on our side and your side both. I'm not going to deny we have a lot of interference cars, and that's what hikes up the aggression. But like that's the issue. It's so hard to tell who's who, because the cars are all moving at such high speeds. Unless you catch the call sign and you know the call sign by like knowing people,
or you hear them,
pretty much impossible. Yeah, or if they're screaming over the loudspeaker or anything, outside of that, it's pretty much impossible. I think
I know I'm pretty unique because I'm like the only BCSO who drives the white Scout, and I'm always driving
when
the
I
white
see
Scout.
a white Scout, I know it's you. So like it's like that. But when it comes to the interceptors, like the only way I can really tell who's in an interceptor is if it's slick top BCSO, I know it's Ventura. I know a couple of call signs, and then I know if people shout at me. That's the only way I can tell. And then Miller, because of his red wing and his penumbra as well as penumbra. But apart from that, like there's just no way to tell who's who. And if they're not loud about it, and they just like do something and then just drive away, or kind of like sit behind you and don't show themselves, or show over the intercom, as I say, like there's no real way of telling who it is. And especially if you're in like a high-speed pursuit, you're kind of worried about a lot of other things rather than like trying to find out who that cop in that car is, right?
So generally consistency.
I think it's like that base problem. I think that it all stems from is just like the consistency of what level of aggression we're going to be met with. based on like what type of shit we do, right? Because like I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna sit here and play the like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Why are you always being aggressive? Like, don't get me wrong. There's some chases where it's completely warranted. I accept that probably a lot more than other people do. Yeah, I'm a realist. Like, if we bring fucking 5 interference cars, and we're like
Shit's
full
gonna get
pitting,
wicked.
going, yeah, shit's gonna get wicked. We're pitting, we're going ham on you guys, you know. Then fair enough. I expect to get it back a little bit. But like, if we have like 1 interference car or none, and we're just like maybe in like the early stages of a chase, I may say, and then an interceptor comes out of nowhere and decides it's time to dive bomb you into a corner and sends your car from perfect condition into full smoke, and it's just like that one action just spirals the rest of the chase from there.
Yeah, no,
All it takes is that one little thing.
I can't discuss internal communications for obvious
Yeah,
reasons, but I will let you know I have, especially since I'm quite often in Air1, I've been paying a lot of attention to pits, and I know there's a little bit of an issue with, I don't know, one from Ireland and one from Australian accent, and you know, pits, they're getting a bit wicked. I understand that issue, but if I see anything that's out of order, I've called up individuals and I've let them know, I see that from you again. Either it's my department, so I will deal with it, or is there this biddy? I said I'll reach out to their command and I won't see you doing that shit ever again. Like,
Yeah.
because I don't want to get shot because somebody pit somebody or rammed them when they were, you know, stopped going 120.
Yeah. So, and like that's also the other thing, right? I feel like, and I hate to say this, but I feel like it is a factor. I think some cops and officers think they can get away with doing some of that like higher speed, more dangerous stuff to us because we're not the type of group that's just gonna like, okay, pull up, we're going to a holdout, we're smoking 30 cops, right? We will do that like once in 6 months, and it's only for like big shit, right? But like, I feel like some officers are like, oh, the hounds aren't gonna fucking shoot us. Let's just up the aggression, and it's pushing us into a position where we're like, we might just have to start executing these concepts. It might be the only way to get the message through to them, you know?
Yeah, which
I think the base issues.
Yeah,
100%. Because I think the base issues, because like I think we could go back and forth in this conversation all day because it's so complex and there's so many different factors. I think those base issues are simply like the lack of consistency on what level of aggression we're going to be met with, and then some of the maneuvers that have been taken when it comes to that aggression, like the dive bombs, the rams, the like very dangerous pits into crazy positions, like just simple shit like that.
Yeah, especially from like a logical standpoint, if I'm hitting you at 180 in a corner into a wall, at that point I might as well just shoot you. Like, what's the difference?
Exactly. Like there was one the other day where there was an open road. It was, I think I was coming up Alta Street over the intersection of Vespucci, and we were going like 85, 90 coming around the corner. And I don't know who it was, but I spun one of the interceptors out, and it was a good pit, and they moved a lot, but they just like spun in circles across the intersection. And the next corner I took, I got hit at like 120, 125 up on, you know, the jump from Alta Street, the Mushkin jump at Arcadius. I got hit there, and my car flew into the barrier at the Mushkin jump, flipped over onto the highway, and landed upside down. And I was just kind of like, well, I mean, yeah, I've pit you, but you can just spin me out into a corner rather than slam me over a barrier onto a highway.
Yeah, there's a difference between a pit and a vehicle accident.
Yeah. I think it's just simply like stuff like that, right?
All right.
It's always going to be a hard fix because I know like high speed pursuits, emotions and fucking shit get the better of people and people get amped up and shit. But yeah, I think it's it can be tough, right? It can be tough. It's a hard thing to maneuver because everybody has their own cars and everybody has their own mindsets and everybody has their own idea of what's right and what's wrong and how to pit and how not to pit.
On top of that, you know, and obviously I'm writing all this down and I'm taking note of it for what I can tell to the BCSO and how to get them to improve, so on and so forth. You are not going to see immediate results. I can promise you that much. It's going to take a long time.
I think it's unrealistic. Yeah, I don't expect that. You know me, I think I'm a realist and I'm pretty straightforward in terms of things. Like, I appreciate you having this conversation, but I'll be honest with you, I'd be shocked if I see like any major improvement. I might see 1 or 2 cops that be able to screw their heads back on a little bit and wind their neck in. But yeah, there's so many serial offenders across both departments where I'm just like, if there is a big chase with multiple interference cars, there's going to be multiple cops attached to it, and all it takes is for one of them to make a stupid action, a stupid decision, and the aggression on us gets raised on every cop on the chase, and vice versa. The aggression on you gets raised on every interference car on the chase.
Yeah, no, it happens. I've seen it happen. But all I can do is my best.
Yes, and I do appreciate that. That's why I'm entertaining this conversation, because I appreciate you actually reaching out and trying to make a difference. It's a lot more than anybody's done in the past. So
the only way I can make a difference is by understanding the playing field everybody thinks we're on.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time people are trying to, I don't know, de-escalate or find ways to solve problems, and we're not even playing the same game.
Yeah. I think one large one that I see that pisses me off a lot, because I think it's such common sense. I forgot to mention this. But I think it's such common sense, but maybe it isn't to other people. When a car comes to a stop, and then cop cars just flying out of nowhere and just bumper around like a puck ball in an ice hockey game, I feel like you should have the common sense to realize that car's probably coming to a stop for a reason, and that reason be that the door's going to open and someone's going to step out. And so many times you go to stop and step out of a car, and you get turned into the fucking pinball in a pinball machine and just get pinballed around.
Yeah.
That one is a big one for me. I understand like a little bump if you come to a very heavy stop of a car hitting him behind you, but like the stuff when a car comes to a stop for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then 3 interceptors start like pinballing it from either side of the car. Yeah, it gets messy when someone is trying to get out of the car and then they just get run over. That's the only thing that I have like a massive issue with, because I feel like it should be common sense that if a car is coming to a stop, somebody's about to get out, you probably shouldn't start ramming it from all 3 sides.
Yeah.
Because at that point, as you said earlier, you may as well just get out and shoot me down, because you're just going to run me over instead and use your vehicle as a weapon. But it goes both ways as well, right? If there's cops out on foot and we're pulling in interference vehicles, I always make sure if I'm on a chase and I'm there, we gotta be careful of hitting cars into people or running cops over. Like if I'm in a car and I pick somebody up and there's cops out on foot, I will always make sure I'm shouting. And I don't know if you would have heard this or not, but I'll always make sure I'm shouting. Please get out of the way. I'm gonna start driving in 5 seconds. And if you're still in the way, I'm just gonna drive through you at that point. Like I give ample warning.
Yeah, that sounds like you're communicating, articulating like a cop, I'm gonna say.
Well, I do this, Joe, because I don't want to be one of those guys who just gets in the car, goes non-verbal, and goes, fuck you, get out of the way, and just drives over cops, because I know there's plenty of people who already do that. So I make sure I'm like, yeah, exactly. I make sure if I'm in a car in the driver's seat and I pick somebody up and there's cops still out on foot, we're trying to tase them or baton them, I'm like, you guys should move away from the car and get back in your car. I'm going to drive now. And if I drive and hit you, it's not my fault. But yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, I've written all this down. I'm gonna speak with loads of different groups today as much as possible. And if you ever have any problem with anybody in the BCSO, look, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If you come in and you're just like, I don't like this one, I'll probably tell you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I would expect that.
Just
I'd do the same thing if you said that to me, right?
If I come and complain about flop, I'm sure you'll be like, I'm gonna back my boy, shut up. I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. There's entirely valid.
If there's like valid concern for anything, I'll make sure.
Yeah, I will always listen, because at the end of the day, I'm here to serve the community, right? And you might live down south, but you're still part of the community.
Exactly.
All right, well, I appreciate you taking the time, Sheamus.
No, I appreciate you, Joe. Thank you very much.
All right,
have a great rest of your day, right?
God bless now.
I'll see you out there.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.